And on that note, happy spring. With spring sneezes also comes spring cleaning, and that is why today I am bringing you a physical media anti-haul. By the time this video goes up, I will actually be in the process of moving, so I've been making it a point the past month or so to really be going through my physical media collection again. Sometimes I'm really good about going through my little cabinet of unwatched movies. Sometimes I go through lulls, but I'm moving, so the weight of that obligation has been stepping on my neck. And this here is the pile of everything that I'm getting rid of. There's one haul item that I just felt inclined to share, but before I get into that, definitely click subscribe. Doing so allows you to boast that you have joined the cult of Haunted Hippie. I know that my name says Kylie Roseanne on here. This is my second channel. Haunted Hippie is my main channel where I talk about horror movies, but I'm still the Antichrist over here all the same. Sorry, throwing a lot at you, but if this seems like your jam, then also click the like button and the notification bell, that way you never miss the next video. I talk a lot about physical media over here, and in the coming weeks or so, I should hopefully be having a lot of moving content coming your way, specifically moving my physical media collection, because that's gonna be a task. Anyway, let's start with the one haul item. We have Monster. This is the award-winning film starring Charlize Theron and also Christina Ricci. I've been very curious about this movie for a very, very long time. I am stoked to have finally found it on DVD. I've never seen it in the thrift stores before. Would I have preferred it on Blu-ray? Yes, but this is a movie that literally might be the very first movie I ever put on my Letterboxd watch list, of which there's about 1,000 movies on that list now. We're scrolling to the bottom. It is the third movie on that list. My apologies, but still, it was one of the first. So I've literally been wanting to watch this movie for about the past 5 years. This does have an interview with Patty Jenkins and BT. I'm not sure who that is. And there also is another featurette on here. So stoked that I found this. If I really like it, I'll probably upgrade it someday. Then next up, I have one book to talk about, because this also was going to be a part of a haul, but then I ended up reading it in like 3 days and decided to get rid of it. And that would be Girl Interrupted. Just thought it worth mentioning because it also was adapted into a major motion picture, and I've never seen that. I do intend on watching that this month, so that will be part of my May recap over on the Haunted Hippie channel. Super fast read though. Literally 3 days. It could have been faster. Like, you could easily read this book in one sitting, and I don't see myself reading it again, so. I just went to clear everything off of my desk, and I realized that I forgot to share this with you. I find the weirdest little notes in the stuff that I find at Goodwill. This note inside of Girl Interrupted says Stephanie 42.71. What does that mean? So bizarre. One of the stranger notes I've found, but I love it. It's like a little bit of hidden treasure. If anybody has any thoughts or theories about this, please leave them in the comments. Okay, sorry. That's it from me. That's the only book in the anti-haul. I think up next I'll go through all the DVDs, and we'll work our way up to the really, really good stuff, because there is a Steelbook in here, there's a Criterion collection in here, but first, the DVDs. First up, we have a movie that I found in a Goodwill. This was sort of a blind purchase because I never knew that there was a little shop of horrors from the 50s. I literally thought the one from the 80s was the original. And the fact that this was also directed by Roger Corman, I just was like, what? Obviously I need to get this. But if you couldn't tell, like, the artwork doesn't fully completely line up with the actual case. It's just like very cheaply made. When I picked this up, somebody in my comments let me know that there was some sort of like royalty-free Roger Corman selection of films that came out on DVD like this, and they might have sold it like Walmart or something. So I think that's what this is. I popped it in, and I don't think I even lasted 5 minutes. It's really, really, really low quality, no subtitles. The audio is really rough, so like I couldn't even understand some of the things that the characters were saying. It might have been worth it, but I don't think I'll ever know. It was too much of an assault on my eyes and ears. Next up, I didn't have a chance to try this one out yet, but this movie was sent to me on Steelbook, so always nice to get an upgrade. This one also has some bonus features. The Opera Ghost, A Phantom Unmasked, feature commentary with film historian Scott McQueen, and then also production photographs. This is the 1943 Phantom of the Opera, and I'm sorry I haven't seen it yet. As soon as I check it out on my Steelbook, I'll probably end up doing a ranking of the 8 original Universal Classic Monster movies. Next up, I'm sorry to this man. I don't know Hey Arnold. This was sent to me, and I just have like no childhood attachment to this show, and I've never seen this movie. And to be so super honest, it looks very off-putting and strange. Like this, whatever this kind of animation style is, I just am not with it. My limit for children with football-shaped heads in animation lies with Phineas and Ferb. I don't have space in my heart or my brain for 2 football-shaped little boys. wise. If I was younger, or if I had seen this movie as a kid and had like any sort of nostalgic tie to it, I might keep it, but it's just not for me. Especially also because it is not rated well, like not critically nor with audiences, so I'm good, love. Next up, we have Sleeping with the Enemy, starring Julia Roberts and who's the dude? Also starring Patrick Bergin and Kevin Anderson. It's called a suspenseful romantic thriller, but really like this woman is breaking away from a highly abusive relationship, so romantic is not the word that I would choose. It was really heavy, and I don't know if it's just this DVD, but also felt kind of low quality. I was so surprised that this seemingly was a hit back in the day, listed as a classic thriller from Jim Whaley on PBS Cinema Showcase. I found it also not only depressing, but rather boring. This is not my kind of movie, okay? Concerning this kind of subject matter, give me Coralie Farja's Revenge. This isn't gonna cut it for me. Finally, the last DVD is this vampire collection. There are 5 different vampire movies on this DVD. It's a classic side A, side B situation. Got Fangs of the Living Dead, Count Dracula and His Vampire Brides, The Last Man on Earth, Vampire Happening, and Grave of the Vampire. This just didn't have a very user-friendly interface. Figuring out how to select which movie you want to watch was a little bit confusing to me. I ended up trying out The Last Man on Earth, and it just was the same situation as Little Shop of Horrors, where the quality of it was just painfully low and there were no subtitles, and I tend to really struggle with that scenario. A character flaw? Perhaps, but I couldn't do it. I bet that at least a couple of these movies are worth checking out. This is just not a useful item in my personal collection. I was bummed though, because Last Man on Earth, that does star Vincent Price, my boy. Next up, we have the IFC Midnight documentary, quote, unquote, Room 237. This is about The Shining. On the back it says, over 30 years later, we're still struggling to understand its hidden meanings. Rodney Asher's Ryan provocative documentary Room 237 fuses fact and fiction through interviews with both fanatics and scholars, creating a kaleidoscopic deconstruction of Kubrick's still controversial classic. I just don't feel like that's accurate. It was fusing fiction, all right. There are also a ton of special features. Maybe those were interesting, but this is another case of me trying something out and not being able to finish it. As soon as I turned it on, it felt corny to me. And then as soon as sort of the deconstruction began, I was like, okay. Okay. Maybe picking movies apart in an extremely conspiratorial way is someone else's cup of tea out there who would like to purchase this. It is not mine. I prefer to do real research. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how to say that any kinder. I spend hours poring over old interviews, archival footage, etc. for the deep dives that I do over on the Haunted Hippie channel. I don't do this weird conspiratorial stuff, so it's not for me. Next up, this is an interesting one. Stoker. This is directed by the icon Park Chan-wook, and this might have been my first movie of his that I've seen. I did finish this one, and this is probably the most positive review I'm gonna give to a movie in an anti-haul video, one that is not just like an upgrade piece. This movie's fine. It's very well made. People gush all about the transitions in this movie. That's fair enough. I give it 3.5 stars, a heart. You know, I enjoyed myself. I was, for the most part, entertained. Something about this movie just does not compel me though. Does not interest me. I felt like all the dressings are there, you know, all the nice wrappings, without it really saying much at all. So enjoyed myself, but I just don't see myself watching it again. I do recommend it for at least a one-time watch though. I'll get more into my thoughts once again in my May recap on the Haunted Hippie channel. Speaking of recaps, let's talk about this one up next. Byzantium or Byzantium, however it's pronounced. I talked about this in my April recap on the Haunted Hippie channel, so I won't get too far into it here. It's just boring. I don't necessarily regret watching it because I had a lot of curiosity about a Saoirse Ronan vampire film, especially one of the Twilight era. I believe this came out in 2012. Just not engaging enough for me personally. I felt like it was a really cool concept that kind of went to waste in a lot of ways, so not holding on to her. Next up, this is a movie that I had a lot of interest in. It sounded like a concept that'd be right up my alley. Basically, these two guys wake up from hypersleep way too early. They are on a ship that is heading hundreds of light years away to another planet away from Earth. It's like a dystopian future scenario. And the movie basically becomes Alien, but a lot weirder, a lot darker. It stars Dennis Quaid, by the way, but he's nowhere on this cover, which is interesting. Well, his name is on the front, but you also get a ton of special features here. And by the way, that might seem like it's a bit of a spoiler, the fact that there are aliens in this, but it gets way weirder and way twistier than that, so don't worry. I just have this thing with mediocre films where if I'm like halfway into it and I haven't been enjoying myself that much, I've felt very meh, and I know that I'm not gonna watch it again, I usually don't keep going. A movie doesn't even have to be like a 1-star, half-star, terrible experience for me to turn it off. I ended up reading the rest of the plot on the Wikipedia summary, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I felt absolutely no regret for having not witnessed it, because having to get through the first half of this movie was just such a slog. I was like, first of all, I'd never put myself through that again, and this movie has just lost my goodwill, so whatever. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long. If this was like an hour and 20-minute long movie, I would have stuck it out. But when I'm almost an hour into a film and I'm just like, bad vibes. Why would I put myself through another hour of it? Next up, Ninja 3, The Domination. I really don't know anything about this film. I feel like way back in the day when I received this movie, I got comments telling me, oh, it's not actually a sequel, don't worry. I didn't look it up. Why? Look, I'm moving. I gotta try to move through things a little bit more quickly at the moment. So I just threw it in. I was like, you know what? If it ends up being a sequel to something, whatever, I'll check out the vibes. And if I'm totally lost, then I'll turn it off and I will seek out the previous films. So what actually happened was the quality of this film, like the filmmaking, just was not my cup of tea. I am not really into martial arts movies, or at the very least, I just have not really explored that genre of film. I have not seen any of the good ones. I don't think it's for me. That's kind of what was going on in this, but seemingly a very low quality version. And I just popped it out after like 10 minutes. It just wasn't for me, which is unfortunate because the cover of this movie does look really cool. I do really like this artwork. You get a lot of special features. There are a lot of new interviews, ton of new interviews, and then also audio commentary by the director and stunt coordinator. So a lot of good stuff on this Blu-ray. Next up, don't hate me. Don't get mad. Don't do it. Guys, I couldn't finish this movie. The vibes were off. The vibes were so off. I am a Marvel girly, okay? I do like the shiny, very corporate phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I'm a Marvel girl, okay? This is a very dark comic book film, and I am not into this very specific vibe of like Lee Whannell's Upgrade, kind of cyberpunk future dystopia type stuff. The only thing that's worked for me in that realm that I don't think even quite qualifies is RoboCop. So it wasn't doing it for me. It's the vibes of those kind of movies for whatever reason makes me feel very, very weird, which is odd because, you know, I like Black Mirror. I do like future dystopian type stuff. I like technologically related horror. It's just very specific things within that don't rock with me. And unfortunately, Dread was one of them. Like, everybody that I follow on Letterboxd loved the movie. And I just was like, oh, that's okay. That's cool. I'll be having fun over on my island over here. No worries, guys. So if you want it, you can have it. Finally, moving on to the steelbook of the day, we have Bone Tomahawk. This is another movie that I didn't finish, and I'm really bummed out because it was on my watch list for a very long time. I was stoked to see another Kurt Russell Western. I love Tombstone. It's a very big movie for my family. And Patrick Wilson, hello, horror father. I was bored. I felt that things were played very, very flat in this film, and I did not feel engaged. I was really bummed because this has been a movie that's been highly recommended to me. I wasn't into it. I shall be parting with her. Real nice steelbook though. This one has not got any dents on it or anything, and I'm sure there are a ton of special features in it. Finally, the last item for today's anti-haul would be the Criterion collection of Greg Araki's Teen Apocalypse trilogy. I did watch Totally Fucked Up in its entirety, and I just didn't really enjoy myself. I think I talked about that maybe in like my March recap or something, and because I'm really trying to move, you know, I'm trying to clean up the little pile I got underneath my TV there. That's where this was. There's a lot of like sequels there that I need to catch up on. So I finally tried The Doom Generation and Nowhere, and I just couldn't complete either of them. I don't know that Greg Araki is really the filmmaker for me. Like, just the style of these movies and the vibes and the characters, I just don't rock with, which is surprising because like I love hangout films, I love Richard Linklater, but they're very different vibes, like kind of somewhat similar conceptually at times, but just not for me. I don't enjoy living in those worlds, unfortunately, because I was really hoping to like them. But that is it. That is all that I am getting rid of today. Of course, Criterion also has, you know, a lot of great special features. All of these items will be listed on my Poshmark. Maybe not Girl Interrupted. I might just donate that one. So come on down, check out the link down below, make a bundle, save some money. Also be sure to check out my main channel, Haunted Hippie, of course. That'll be linked down below too, as well as anything else you need, my social media, the link to my next short horror film GoFundMe, just fun little things like that. But more than anything, I just hope that you enjoyed this video and that I catch you in the next one. Bye!